I was home alone one night. Our house is a split-level house, and the upstairs is like a separate apartment where my brother and I live, while our parents live downstairs. It was a rainy weekend, and I decided to stay in. My friends didn't want to do anything, so I spent the night watching scary movies in my room. I was engrossed in a movie I'd never seen before, Do Sleep. I paused the movie to grab a snack in the kitchen. I went to the pantry closet, grabbed a box of crackers, and then heard a noise coming from downstairs. I initially dismissed it as nothing and returned to my room. I shut the door and resumed the movie. That's when I noticed the backyard motion light was on, and I heard sounds from downstairs, directly below my bedroom. The sounds resembled the back door being closed. To give you an idea of our house layout, my room is directly above the back door to the house. The walls in our house are paper thin, so you can hear even the slightest noise from downstairs. It became clear that I was hearing footsteps. I texted our family group chat, asking who had just come home. My mom replied within a minute, saying, "We're not home." The only other person it could be was my brother, but that was strange since he never entered through the back of the house. He also wasn't supposed to be home that night. I texted in the group chat, asking, "I hear someone downstairs. Alex, is that you?" He didn't reply. The footsteps continued, crossing the house towards the front until they were out of earshot. Then I heard the footsteps coming up the stairs. I turned off the TV. The footsteps were heading straight down the hall to my room, bypassing every other room in the hallway. They were heavy and deliberate. The footsteps reached my door, which then opened. I lay still in my bed, pretending to have my eyes shut, squinting just enough to see a head peering into the room through the doorway, looking right at me. The room was dark, and I could only see the person's eyes. It didn't look like Alex. The intruder stood at the doorway, watching for what felt like an eternity as I lay there, pretending to be asleep. After maybe 30 seconds to a minute, he closed the door, but I didn't hear him walk away. I texted our family group chat in all capitals, "Alex, please tell me that's you in the house." Alex replied back almost instantly, saying, "No, what are you talking about?" That's when I told them someone was in the house. I called 911 and whispered into the phone. It was only then that I heard the footsteps moving away from the door, possibly because the intruder heard me start to speak, even in a whisper. The footsteps went down the stairs, and then I couldn't hear them anymore. I was told to stay on the line with the dispatcher until help arrived. About 5 minutes later, there was a knock at the door downstairs. When the dispatcher told me I was good to go down and let the police in, I did. The 2 police officers who arrived checked the whole house with me, inspecting every closet and looking under every bed. It was determined that the house was clear, and they left. I realized that one of my parents had left the back door unlocked. It was as simple as that. There was no chance of sleeping after an incident like this, and nobody would be home until the next day. I had to get through the night alone. A little while after the police left, the backyard motion light turned on again. Something had set it off. I looked out my window and caught just a glimpse of a man walking away from the house, heading to a dark corner of the backyard where I couldn't see him anymore. I believe he might have tried to enter the house again, but this time the door was locked. I watched through the window for as long as the motion light was on. When it turned off, it was too dark to see anything outside. Thankfully, he never returned. The incident taught me that taking half a second to lock your doors can make all the difference between someone getting into your house or not. Because my parents forgot to lock the door, I will forever have the haunting image of that person's head peering into my room, looking at me, specifically those eyes. It's an image that will stay with me.